Happy New Year. We are here with our official podcast, Conversations and Connections, the official podcast of the Family Crisis Center of East Texas, the first podcast of the year. And with me is Melissa Russel with Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council. And we're going to be talking mostly about one event that's coming up later here in January, but also maybe some other things that may be going on later in the year as Melissa tries to put the cap back on her water bottle.
Very quietly.
Hey, Melissa, thanks for helping us kick off the new podcast of the new year, very first one.
Absolutely,
appreciate it.
I'm honored to be the first one of the brand new year.
Yeah, I need to start forming a club of people who've been on the podcast the most. And I think you're one. I think you're one of them.
Am
actually.
I one of them now?
I think so. So what we're kind of wanting to talk about is an event that's coming up January the 20th. If you're listening to this after January the 20th, you're going to find out what you're missing. And this is the Community Conversations Youth Wellness and Prevention event. And that's kind of a mouthful. Kind of tell me a little bit about what's going on. What is this all about?
So this is a great program that the Nat King Coalition and the coalition members have come together to put on. We did one in Cushing in November, and Nacogdoches will be January, and then hopefully we'll be able to continue planning for some outlying Nacogdoches communities like Garrison, Sherino, hopefully. But this event is geared toward not only our community members, but our parents. And this gives our parents information and up-to-date statistics that are local to Nacogdoches. And we talk about substance misuse with our youth, the newest trends that we're seeing. We also have presenters such as ADAC, Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council. Kim Bartell will be talking about addiction and related behaviors in our youth. Michelle Cox will talk about how to confidently talk to your kids about drugs, alcohol, and vapes, and she does a wonderful presentation. And then also we'll have Burke Mental Health with Stephen Lantis, the Director of Children's Mental Health Services. They'll talk about our mental health and our youth, and then also what resources that Burke has to offer. So we'll have free snacks, free drinks. It's kind of a laid-back evening of gaining insight into what's going on with our youth in Nacogdoches.
Now, at this event, it's obviously to inform parents of things that's going on and affecting their youth. Will there be things available for youth if they come out as well?
If the youth come out, they'll learn of what substance misuse. They'll learn about how it affects your body and also how it affects your mental health. So they'll get to learn more of an in-depth of, the statistic for Nacogdoches is this. I don't want to be one of those vaping statistics. Or if I get caught with a vape on campus, this is what happens. So they'll also learn that if I vape, this can damage my lungs, it can damage my mental health, and it can affect me for the rest of my life. Yeah. So it'll be more information for our youth, but it's more geared toward our adult community and also our parents.
Okay. Talking about vaping just for a minute, that's one thing that I think a lot of youth and I think also a lot of adults have been lulled into believing that vaping is a safe alternative to smoking.
Absolutely.
And I think hearing from things that you have said, hearing some things that Kim Bartell has said, the longer something stays out, the more research is done, the more studies can take place. And I think people are starting to realize that, man, this isn't any better for you than smoking.
Exactly. So back in the 50s, 60s, on television, you would have doctors actually smoking cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
And advertising the cigarettes.
9 out of 10 doctors recommend Camel.
Exactly.
or whatever,
yeah,
right?
Or 9 out of 10 doctors, if you smoke menthol, it soothes your sore throat.
Right.
So vapes are they're starting to shift out of that, but vapes were really in that era of cigarettes because vapes were being sold as a safer alternative to cigarettes when they're actually not. Vapes are actually worse than cigarettes in some ways because there's no regulation to the amount of nicotine in a vape. Some vapes have enough nicotine that it's the same amount as 2 cartons of cigarettes. So if you smoke a vape in a day, then you just smoked a carton of cigarettes.
Well, and I think a lot of times, and I think I don't smoke.
Yeah.
But I think even someone like me, when you think about the dangers of smoking, you think of what it does to your lungs as far as the tar, inhaling smoke, all the chemicals. And I don't know if I really ever think that much about nicotine itself.
Nicotine itself is an extremely addictive
chemical substance.
Yeah. My brain just went, no. So, yeah, nicotine is what addicts you to the vape and keeps you coming back. Nicotine changes your brain. So it actually tricks your brain into saying, hey, this is good. Hey, this makes me feel less stress. When in actual, even with smoking cigarettes, what relieves your stress is the breathing method that you're doing. What's the one thing you tell people if they're stressed out? Breathe in, hold it, breathe out. That's what you do when you're smoking. So that's really the stress relief, is the breathing. The nicotine is lying to you by saying this feels great, this relieves your stress, I feel better after smoking. And instead, it's making you more addicted to it.
Yeah.
It's changing the receptors in your brain to need more and more and more. That's why somebody who might smoke 1 cigarette a day turns into smoking a pack of cigarettes or more. And also, it's the habit forming, it's the motion. And that's what we're seeing with vapes, especially because with vapes, you don't have to walk outside. You don't need a lighter. You don't have to go through all these steps that you do to light up a cigarette. Vapes, you can sit there, and before you know it, while you're eating, you may smoke or vape in between bites, and you don't realize it. Or you may vape the entire vape pod that you have and not realize it. Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, I even remember, and gosh, okay, I'm going to probably tell the age I am here. But I remember when these things first came on the market, I don't think they were called vapes. They were called e-cigarettes.
E-cigarettes, yeah.
And they were shaped like cigarettes. They
yep.
weren't the cartridges or the things like you see today. And I actually remember, I want to say, for a brief time, there was some commercials on TV.
Yep.
Because I remember, Jenny McCarthy, I think, advertising the benefits of having this e-cigarette. You can smoke it anywhere, even where smoking is not allowed.
It's just water vapor.
Because it's water vapor and things like that,
And the end would light up. Like
they would. It would light up, and of course, things. I mean, you can't land. I used to say this about churches in East Texas, but now you can't land anywhere in Texas and throw a rock and probably not hit a vape shop.
Yeah.
Or a vape shop somewhere.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Even a vape shop, absolutely. Yeah, they've just kind of infiltrated communities. So one statistic, I don't have it with me, but if you think about how many dollar stores that you see, Family Dollar, all of them, and every community has at least one dollar store, right? So if you think about that, and then if you look at the statistic that even just Nacogdoches County alone, vape shops, and I'm including convenience stores, anywhere that sells a vape, actually outnumber your dollar stores in Nacogdoches County like 3 to 1.
Really?
Really, yeah. And here in Nacogdoches, the largest concentration of vape shops is right around SFA because they're targeting our youth.
Well, and that kind of makes, I kind of find it mildly comical when you see someone vaping because it's not like these little whiffs of smoke. It's like this big cloud is billowing from them. And I know you can drive down North Street in front of the campus where the sidewalk is, and you can see
just clouds,
just these billows of smoke coming from these students. So I know it's a. Yeah, I mean, they want to get to where the money's at. And these students can walk across the street, get their vape fix, right? How important is it to educate parents or to arm parents with the knowledge to educate their children about these things?
Well, with this, I think the more knowledge that a parent can have on this subject in particular, the better they're able to talk to their children about it, the better they're able to warn their children about the dangers of vaping or substance misuse. Because I know that youth today, they're inundated with their phones and the internet and social media, and they might see something on social media that is showing the dangers of vaping, but it's social media. They don't take it as seriously.
Yeah.
But if your parent is sitting down to talk with you, you're going to listen to your parent more. So the more that we can arm our parents with this information, then especially with Michelle Cox giving the tips on how to confidently talk to your youth about it, because sometimes approaching your youth about that subject can be a little hard, maybe a little awkward,
right,
you know?
Right.
So if we can give you the information, give you the tips, and then also part of this event is we're just going to have an open discussion. It's ask any questions, come join the community, come talk, and any answer that we can give you to help, then that's what this evening is for.
You know, you mentioned it might be an awkward conversation or whatever for a parent to have with their with their child, with their kid. You know, it kind of goes back as hey, my new microphones are picking up the train whistles very good. We're at the ADAC offices. It was just kind of very close to the railroad tracks. You know, one of the things I always think, and of course I think talking to your kids about vaping is a little different than, you know, my line of work where you're talking to kids about relationships and sex and things like that. But I think it still goes hand in hand, the importance that parents do talk to their kids.
Absolutely.
You know, in the topics that I cover, which again, more relationship centered, every now and then you'll hear the parent, well, that's a topic that parents need to have. You know, you don't need to talk to our kids. Well, then do it. I think so many times, you know, parents will say, well, you know, that's a conversation that parents need to have with their kids. Well, how many parents are really doing it?
True.
You know, and again, I don't, you know, this talking about vaping and cigarettes probably isn't as embarrassing, maybe, I don't know. But especially if a parent is vaping, if a parent is smoking, and they're telling their kid,
don't do it.
Don't do this, you know. And who knows, you know, a parent hearing this information may trigger something in them.
That's another hope.
To quit themselves,
exactly.
Right?
Yep,
so,
that's another hope. Also, it's with parents vaping and with the messaging that we were talking about, how vapes are safer than cigarettes. It kind of normalizes it for our youth to where they think, oh, it's nothing. My mom, she vapes, or talking about tobacco use and the skull, the chewing tobacco. You know, used to, and I might date myself too, but back in the 80s, the 70s, you would see the blue jeans that had the ring in the pocket.
Yes.
So that you knew who did it. Yeah, I mean, that was like stand out. So that normalized it for a whole next generation of kids. And now we're talking the same thing with parents vaping. They're normalizing it for another generation of kids to use vapes.
Is there regulations in place now as far as like advertising? Like, obviously, we were talking about the early TV commercial I remember seeing with Jenny McCarthy with her e-cigarette, but I don't really see commercials on TV. Yeah. So I don't know, is there already legislation in place that you know of?
So there is legislation. I know that vape shops, especially convenience stores, they have policies that they have to follow on how to advertise for the vapes.
All right.
You don't see them on TV. And that's a good thing because that would, normalize it.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, that's fine. And I did not mean to put you on the spot. I'm just, a lot of these times when we have these conversations, I start thinking of other things, that kind of come to mind.
I'll say we always take our little rabbit trail somewhere.
So again, this will be the Community Conversations Youth and Wellness Prevention It will be on Tuesday, January the 20th, from 6 until 8 p.m. at the Nacogdoches Rec Center. That's at 1112 North Street. So, and of course, Family Crisis Center will be there. We're going to have it. We're going to have a table there, a vendor table there. So, we're looking forward to it. I know this isn't kind of what we had discussed about maybe talking, but I just kind of want to. I know the plans are in motion also, Melissa, for the Stand Down event.
Their Stand Down, yes.
Coming up in April. Can you talk just a little bit about that? Even if there's not, I know there's a lot of things that aren't in place yet for that. But,
absolutely. So real quick on the community conversations as far as our vendors. So far we have 12 vendors from organizations here in our community that will show up, have a booth, Family Crisis Center included. They will have their resources available. Mm-hmm. So if any parent shows up and they need insurance information or they need family crisis information, we'll have booths set up with all that information for them.
Well, and but when I first heard about this, I was kind of, well, does the Family Crisis Center want to be a vendor or not? Because this is really centered towards drug use and all of that. But hey, if you're targeting anything with kids and with parents of kids, I think you need to take that opportunity to talk to them about relationships, teen dating, violence. At least have that information available to the parents.
Yep. So this is our community conversations. It is community focused. We do have resources for parents, but it's really any community member. You're welcome to show up. We'll have a resource for you.
Okay, cool.
Plus free snacks and drinks. So
nice.
That helps. Stand Down event. Yes, we are just starting our planning for our Nacogdoches Veteran Stand Down event. It'll be April 18th at Festival Park from 9 to 3. And this event is open to any veteran. Active duty service member, their families, and especially geared toward our homeless veterans here in Nacogdoches County. And we will have resources ranging from hygiene items all the way up to VA benefits. So if you need to sign up for your VA benefits or if you have a question about your benefits, we'll have somebody on hand that can explain it to you. Okay. ADAC will be on hand to offer mental health screenings. We'll also do the substance misuse screenings. And then we'll have the day itself is geared toward veterans to come out, have a cup of coffee, sit down, maybe play a board game or some dominoes.
Get the support they need.
And just chat with other veterans. It's an easy day to just relax with your family, play some games out in the park with your kids. Mm-hmm. Have free lunch, have free breakfast. It's just kind of it's a family fun day.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll have more information on that as the day gets closer. Right now we're looking at what, April
18th.
April 18th. That'll be on a Saturday. I have a hunch you'll be back on the podcast maybe between now and then to talk about the Stand Down event. So if anybody has any questions, if they want to ask you anything about the upcoming youth wellness and prevention event at the rec center, who can they get in touch with?
They can contact me. My email is mrussel@adacdet.org, or they can call my office number at 936-305-7628.
Okay, all right. Well, Melissa, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to, as always, to talk to you. And again, if you have any questions or if you have any if you feel like you have the need to come out to the Family Crisis Center, if you feel like you need the services of the Family Crisis Center, we do have our toll-free number. And, of course, that's 1-800-828-7233. And you can subscribe to Conversations and Connections through Spotify or Apple Podcasts and pretty much any podcast service of your choice. Remember, be the voice. If not for you, for someone else.